Top 10 essential steps to prepare for a smoother divorce. Just imagine you've signed up for a marathon. You wouldn't just tie up your sneakers, show up on race day, and hope for the best, right? Well, you would train, plan, and maybe even cry a little on those long runs in preparation. And divorce is no different. You need strategy, stamina, and a solid game plan to get through it all without collapsing at mile 1. You need to have a plan. Maybe you're thinking about divorce. Maybe you are in the middle of separation. Maybe the ink is dried on the paper, your divorce is over, and you're still wondering what the heck is next. I assure you, this advice is for you. Stick with me, and I'll show you the top 10 steps to make sure that you cross that finish line a little more smoothly, with a fewer cramps and a little less surprise. If you stick around until the end, I even include a special bonus tip that has really helped me in my life. Step 1, organize your financial documents. This is the foundation towards financial independence and financial freedom. Gather everything up, your bank statements, your tax returns, property deeds, retirement accounts. The more organized you are now, the smoother things will go along the way. And the smoother things will be when it's time to make crucial decisions. These are big, heavy, weighty decisions. And the more prepared and organized you can be, then the more able you will be to communicate and negotiate effectively. Think of it like prepping your gear for a big event. You want everything in place so you can focus on the task at hand without any unnecessary stress. So if you're feeling overwhelmed by your finances, maybe this is something your spouse has handled in the past, that's not uncommon, that's perfectly normal. In many relationships, one partner handles the finances, one partner maybe organizes the kids' schedules, one partner does more of the cooking, one partner mows the lawn. This is perfectly normal. If this is your first time having to learn about and consider and understand your finances, well then find a financial expert who can help you. Well, find someone who you're really comfortable with, someone who doesn't make you feel stupid if you ask a question. Because now's the time to ask all the questions. There is no stupid question. There is no dumb question. Now's the time for you to take a deep dive, to learn and grow and figure things out. And it's really not that complicated to get the basic financial foundation down. If you want to learn a little bit more, check out my video on how to protect your financial future during divorce. It's packed with tips on budgeting, securing your assets, tracking your credit score, and other things you might want to consider. Step 2, build your support team. You can reach much more success in any new endeavor or journey that you take if you assemble a dream team. You bring into your corner the people that are going to help you out. We as one person, we don't know everything. So bring the people in who have worked with other people in transitioning through divorce. The lawyers, the financial expert, the divorce coach, the yoga instructor, the realtor. Bring the proper experts into your corner, the people you feel comfortable with, and learn from them, work with them, listen to them, and take their advice. A divorce coach can help you stay focused on your long-term goals. Maybe you even need a therapist who can help you deal with post and past trauma. Surrounding yourself with the right team will make your journey much more manageable. You know, all of the most challenging times in my life and all of the biggest problems that I've had, and there's been a few, I was most successful when I found the people who have been there, done that, and I've hired them to work with me, and I've listened to what they say, and I've done what they say because I didn't know any better or any different. But I could see that their life was working well for them. I could see that they were successful in that area, and I learned from them. You can take their 10,000 hours that they put into their own journey and have it all right at your fingertips. You don't have to make the mistakes they made, and they made a lot along the way. You don't have to bumble through and try to figure things out on your own. Things have already been figured out. You just have to bring the right people into your corner. Number 3, create a budget. Now, this is money again. Creating a budget that reflects your new reality is crucial. Divorce often means shifting from 2 incomes to 1, or adjusting to a new and different financial situation. So take a close look at your expenses and your income and figure out where you need to make some changes. This budget will be your roadmap, helping you stay on track and avoid financial pitfalls as you transition to your new life. Hire a financial expert. They can help you to create a budget. You can learn from them, ask them questions. There's no dumb questions. Find the right people to work with you. That's what's important. You want the people on your team to make you feel good, to make you feel strong, to feel important. And you never want to walk away thinking, geez, I wish I asked that, or I wish they would have helped me here. You want them to be solid in your corner, teaching you. And then you pay attention and you take their advice and you learn and you grow and you can do it. When I was transitioning through divorce about 20 years ago now, I didn't do this, and it was a mistake. I've since learned from that mistake. I didn't want people to know that I was not good with money. I was embarrassed. I didn't want really to talk about my situation. I kept things to myself and I stayed quiet, and I paid for it. Create a plan now and you'll thank yourself later. And for me, it's never too late to learn. I'm still learning. I'm still on a journey. Number 4, protect your credit. So your credit score is your financial lifeline. It's important for you to safeguard it during this transition. So start by separating your finances, open new bank accounts and credit cards in your name if necessary, and keep a close eye on your credit score and your credit report so that there's no surprises. And by taking these steps, you're setting yourself up for financial independence and financial future and financial security for you and for your children. Number 5, evaluate your living situation. Do you need to stay in this home? Do you want to stay in this home? Can you afford to stay in this home? Decide whether staying in the family home is feasible, or if it's better to downsize, or rent, or live with a friend or a family member for a while. Is it better to move? Is it financially feasible to stay? Emotionally, you may want to stay. You've made a lot of memories here with your children, and you don't want to disrupt them during this time any more than you already have. You're feeling like, oh my God, they didn't ask for divorce. They didn't ask for all this mess, and now I'm going to take them out of their home. Well, you have to really figure out what is the best financial decision for you. And yeah, they're tough and weighty decisions to make. So take a little time to figure it out, find the right money expert to work with, and try to control your emotions and think logically about what is best financially for you and your kids. Remember, this is about setting yourself up for stable, comfortable, happy, and exciting life moving forward. And money's a big part of that. If your kids have your unconditional love, that's all they need. You can create a home in any 4 walls that you have. Your kids will look back and they'll respect that. They'll understand that because along the way, you're going to have conversations with them. So step number 6, prioritize your children. If you have kids, step 6 is all about prioritizing their needs. Divorce can be and is really tough on children too. So it's important to remember and to maintain as much stability as possible for your children. Now, depending on their ages, that's going to be different. If they're older children and they're already out of the house, it looks different than if they're little kids, 5, 6, 10 years old. But figure out how to create as much stability in their lives as you can. Keep their routines consistent. Stay involved in their lives. Keep the lines of communication open, and work towards a co-parenting plan that supports their well-being. Let them know how much you love them and how much their other parent loves them, and let them know that that is never, ever going to change. This is not their fault. This is mom and dad who have grown apart, and we're choosing to get divorced. Really has nothing to do with you, but know that we love you, and that will never, ever change. Just be kind and loving and open. Keep the lines of communication open. And if you do that, then when they speak and they're ready to talk and have a conversation, well, you'll be there. You'll be ready. Your children didn't choose this situation. So do everything you can to make the transition as smooth and reassuring for them. And really, it comes down to love. If you love them unconditionally, if you come from a place of love, your kids are going to be okay. Now, if you want more ideas on how to shield your kids during divorce, how to protect your kids during divorce, how to do this divorce as best as possible for your children, I created a video called "Your Children Will Be Better Off the Moment You Watch This." Some steps to champion their happiness and well-being. So check it out if you'd like. Step number 7, understand your insurance needs, your will, and your estate planning. This is often overlooked. It's not something everyone thinks about right away when separating and divorce. But there is often changes in health, life, and home insurance coverage. So review your policies to determine what adjustments need to be made. If you're losing coverage through your spouse, explore your options now. Make appropriate changes to your will. And of course, create a will if you don't have one. And consider revising any estate planning that you have in place. Number 8, inventory of your marital property and assets. So what does that mean? This is all about taking stock of what you have. Inventory your marital property, any other properties that you have, vehicles, investments, personal items. Knowing exactly what's on the table will help you in your negotiations and ensure a fair division of assets. This isn't just about splitting everything down the middle. It's about understanding the value of what you're dealing with so you can make informed decisions. You know, I can remember that when I transitioned through divorce a couple decades ago, I was so focused on my kids and their well-being. I was so sad that I was devastating their lives, and I thought I was ruining their lives. And I was so focused. I wanted them to just know that mom and dad loved them. I wanted them to know that marriage was important. I thought about, their futures, and I wanted them to meet the love of their life and find someone that was so amazing for them, and know that marriage was important and special and awesome. So I was so focused on my kids, which was good, but I didn't take a lot of time to do some of this stuff that I'm talking to you about. So what I want for you, yes, focus on your children, but I want you to take a certain amount of time per week, an hour or two, to kind of think about the other things that are important as well. In the whole time you're thinking about your children and you're thinking about yourself and your family. I didn't think much about financial planning. I didn't think much about how to negotiate or how to communicate or budgeting, and I don't want that for you. You can be super focused on your kids and their well-being, and you can work to learn about your finances, your money. You can be financially independent, financially knowledgeable, financially free, and you can have amazing kids, and you can feel happy about your life. You really can have it all, but if you don't have the information and you don't know, well, then you just don't know what you don't know. And I didn't know some of this stuff. Another really cool thing would be to let your kids know the journey you are on and start talking about money. Wouldn't it be great if they could learn how to become financially independent as children? Like, what a great life lesson you could teach them while you are learning and growing too. I was late in talking to my kids about money. I have all boys, but their dad was good at it. I do know now, and they've learned how to be financially responsible. And they have each other. And they've grown up to, work hard, have fun. They have smiles on their faces. They seem to be happy. I think they feel love in their life. So it is all possible. Step 9, stay civil and rational. Whew, that doesn't sound easy. It is easy and understandable at this time to let your emotions take over. But keeping a level head will serve you, and it will serve your children and the well-being of your children in the long run. When your emotions run high, mistakes are made. When your emotions are not in control, you are not controlling your emotions, they control you. And when you're highly emotional, you're actually not able to make rational, best decisions and choices. So it will make the process smoother and help you avoid unnecessary conflict if you learn the skill of controlling your emotions. And there are all kinds of things that you can do, but there's, a couple really fundamental things that you can do to understand how your thoughts and your emotions and your behaviors and the words that you speak are all connected, and how you do have control over that. Remember, this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. Pacing yourself emotionally is just as important as pacing yourself financially. It's scientifically proven that you are not able to make best choices, rational decisions, when you are highly emotional. But of course you're emotional. This is an emotionally overwhelming, exhausting, sad, angry, confusing, and time. You can learn this. You need to learn how to control your emotions, or they will control you. Hire a divorce coach who has walked down the path that you're walking, who works with people every day who are transitioning through separation and divorce, who understands where you are in the process, who listens to you, provides professional advice that you respect, and who knows that life is fabulous and fun and joyful, and life is filled with possibilities and excitement. I mean, this is a skill that you can learn, and it will serve you in every area of your life. And finally, number 10, plan for your future, re-envision your future. Divorce is a major life change, but it's also an opportunity to start fresh, to learn and grow as a human being. If you think about a time in your life when you went through a struggle, had a problem, or there was a challenge. Now, maybe it's not as challenging as separation and divorce, but it was a problem. It was a challenge. Think about how you handled it. And I want you to think about a time where you're kind of proud of how you handled it. So think about that. Think about what you did, what you said, how you acted, and how you handled that time in your life. And now you feel proud about that. Well, this might be on a bigger scale, but it's the same thing. What do you want? Who are you going to be during this time? Why do you want what you want? You have to know where you're headed. Think about where you want to be 1 year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and think about how you want to look back on this time in your life. How do you want to feel when you look back on this time in your life? Do you want to feel proud about how you handled things? Do you want to see your kids thriving, having a great relationship with you and with their other parent, with their other grandparents and your mom and dad, with all their aunties and uncles, maybe with a new step parent? I mean, this is all possible. Is this what you want? But why do you want it? You really got to figure this out for yourself. So that's the inner work. What are your values and your beliefs about family, health, work, character, fitness, love, friends? Why do you want what you want? And then what steps are you going to take to get there? And who are you going to lean on to hold you accountable so that when you mess up, they can say, and they can remind you about how awesome you are. And you can go, oh yeah, yep. And you can get back on track. I mean, we all need people in our lives who make us feel good, who bring us up, who give us more energy. Find those people because they're really going to help you during this time. Who are you going to hire to hold you accountable? What goals are you going to set? Do you have goals? Have you set clear goals for the next rest of this year, for next year, for the next 5 years? I mean, one thing that's really helped me is I have a pretty clear vision, a North Star of where I'm headed in my life. And then I live my whole life, not all the time, but I live my whole life and I make decisions based on that North Star and where I'm headed. It works for me and I focus on it often. Now, if you've made it this far in the video, then I have one extra bonus tip for you before we wrap it up. It's about creating a me time routine. My me time is fitness and health. Every day I plan food that I'm going to eat. I plan dinners for my family. I think about the food that we're going to eat, the conversations that we're going to have around the dinner table, or the one-on-one conversations. You know, one boy is going off to work and one is coming home and one is leaving here and off to school. And I think about the food that we eat as a family. And then I think about every day getting some form of exercise. So I like a walk, I like yoga, and I like weight training. Well, I don't like weight training, but I've started weight training because I need strength. So weight training's on my list now, but I always get some form of exercise every single day. So I'm wondering, what is your me time routine? Is it a hobby? Is it meditation? Is it a half hour of solitude every day? Is it 1 hour of exercise every day? Is it a phone call with a friend or a sister? Is it some social time? Is it some volunteering? Carve out space every single day to recharge. Every day you need some me time. This is your time to focus on you so you can stay strong and resilient through this process. And so you can stay strong and resilient throughout the rest of your life. For me, when I'm physically strong, when I feel physically strong, it just taps into so many other areas of my life. Like, I'm conscious of health and fitness and how it affects every area of my life, my finances, my work, my relationships, my character, my emotional health and well-being, relationships with kids, like you name it. If I get some physical exercise every day, I just feel better. I have more energy. And so just like a marathon, separation, divorce, and life all require preparation, patience, and a lot of deep breathing. By following these 10 steps, you're a little bit closer to setting yourself up to cross that finish line with some confidence, some peace, and some grace. Remember, it's not about rushing to the end. It's about taking each step thoughtfully and intentionally so you can start the next chapter of your life feeling better about yourself, feeling proud of the way you're handling your situation. If you're concerned about avoiding mistakes, I highly recommend watching my next video on Breaking Badly, 20 Common Mistakes for a Disastrous Divorce Journey. It's all about staying smart, making better decisions along the way. Check it out if you want to keep on learning. Remember that you are love and you are perfect just the way that you are.